Welcome back. I'm Pocket What If from the One for Your Pocket, and guys, I am so sorry this took so long. My schedule so far from this past month has been nearly completely filled with a bunch of paperwork and a bunch of crap I will not get into. Plus, the editing is not easy. And a couple other stuff that came up has been blocking my way of making these what ifs. I am sorry. But other than that, please subscribe to this channel, like this video, comment down below, and share this video with your friends. As well, hit that notification bell to get more of my what ifs. And guys, let's have some fun, shall we? This is part 2 of What If Izuku was the son of Dr. Doom. Oh yeah, let's get on with it, shall we, boys? As we cut to Izuku, who is 9 years old at the time, his eyes are glowing green, and dark energy is coming out of his hands as an explosion occurs. As the majority, if not the entirety, of Castle Doom is destroyed, absolutely obliterated. As if you were like in the city of Latveria seeing Castle Doom, you would have seen a vortex of rubble, of dirt, of broken brick and metal being swirled around like it's a freaking hurricane. But inside that hurricane is basically a black hole that is ever expanding and consuming. As outside of the vortex and the swirling dark orb is Dr. Doom and the Fantastic Four, as Mrs. Fantastic has created a force field. As when the explosion happened, her, Dr. Doom, Franklin, Latveria, as well Reed Richards and the Human Torch. As inside the force field, Franklin looks like he was been punched in the face since he's bleeding from the nose. Latveria, she's crying, and Franklin's been saying it's not my fault. As Reed's like, we will talk about this when we get home. As Victor looks at Susan as he just makes one simple request. Let me go, Susan. As Sue is trying to, convince him not to leave the force field. As she just says, we don't know what the heck is going on, Victor. We don't know what this is. As Victor just says, this is my son. I know exactly what's happening. As Reed's like, wait, what? How do you know? You forget I am much smarter than you will ever be, Reed. 1, that is debatable, and 2, if this is your son pointing towards the hurricane that is just slowly expanding, then I should help. No, I don't need any more help. Especially from you, Richards. As he looks at Franklin. As Susan walks right behind Dr. Doom as she puts a hand on his shoulder. Victor, as he looks behind him. We will help. At least let me. My force field should get you close enough to Izuku. At least enough. As Dr. Doom looks her in the eyes, as he just sighs. As you wish, but only within the eye of the vortex. And only then. The rest I can do all by myself. Understand me, Susan? As she just gives him a nod, as her and Victor go into the vortex. And as they do, Victor and Susan walk through the wall of moving rubble. As when they do, rocks, metal bars, and just pieces and shards of rubble just hit Susan's shield at a constant rate as Dr. Doom and Susan Richards keeps walking through this vortex, this hurricane of debris and rubble, as Dr. Doom's eyes are like continuously focused. As then Susan starts talking. Victor, are you alright? As he just states, I am fine, Susan. I am just fine. As she just looks at him and she just says, he's gonna be alright. He is your son after all, so he's gonna be just fine. As Victor just keeps on walking forward as Susan tries to keep up. As they come across the giant dark void that is ever expanding. As then Doom puts his hand out, stopping Susan from walking any further. This is where you stop here, Susan. As Susan tries to protest this, but Doom just says this one awesome line. All the guests of Bavaria will not come to harm, and if this is what I think it is, you will come to great harm, Susan. As Susan just looks at him, is like, Victor. As then he just says, I have spoken, Susan, and once I enter this void, you leave immediately. You head back to Reed. Understand? As he just stares at her. As she just gives him a slight nod as he enters this black hole. As he just enters it, as when he enters, everything instantly feels wrong. As if he's trying to walk through hot tar. Everything feels like he has to force his way just to get to Izuku, as he could see as like a glowing green light in the center of this dark, stormy darkness that's expanding, as once in a while a bolt of green lightning just smacks down to the ground. But as he tries to move forward, he feels like his armor is disappearing and reappearing at the exact same time for some reason. As he's wondering about this, but as he just hears the words, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, as he sees Izuku putting both hands on his ears, and he looks like he's having an absolute panic attack, as Doom just gets closer and closer, once in a while almost being struck by the green lightning from above, and heck, even from below, for some reason, as soon he comes into contact with Izuku, as Izuku just feels a hand on his shoulder as he sees his father standing right beside him. As he just says, Father, as Doom just kneels, as like, it's gonna be alright. It's all gonna be alright. As he put his hand right behind Izuku's head, as a symbol appears upon Dr. Doom's hand, as he grabs Izuku by the back of the head, as he just says, all you need to do is sleep. As Izuku's eyes, well, they begin to stop glowing, as his entire body stops glowing, as everything around him, well, it starts to slow down as his eyes begin to, well, blink, but the more he blinks, the slower, well, each blink gets until he stops. As the entire bit of the dark storm, it disappears, and everything just, well, all the rubble that's been, twisting around the place, it just stops and it just starts falling everywhere. And dark orb just disappears, and all that is left is just a circle of destruction across the land. And all that is left is just Dr. Doom and Izuku on the ground as he's just peacefully sleeping. As then Susan runs over. Victor, are you okay? And he is fine, Susan. He's just sleeping for now. As then both Johnny Storm and Reed Richards fly in, as Reed Richards just asks, Doom, are you alright? And is Izuku? He is fine, Reed, without any of your help. What's that supposed to mean? Whatever. Doom, Izuku needs to go to a hospital. As well, we need to test how the heck this happened. There's gonna be so much. You'll be doing no such thing, Reed. Victor, I know you and I don't agree much, especially since over the years that we've known each other. But with Izuku here, what just happened? We could have died! You could have died! Susan could have died! The people in the village down there could have died! Including Bavaria and Franklin! I'm gonna stop you right there, Reed. First of all, you and I both know Franklin can handle most things. And remember the whole Onslaught fiasco years back? And second of all, you and Susan and also Johnny can handle such things. You've handled much worse over the years that we've known each other. And third, the people of Bavaria have survived way worse than this. And fourth, you will not be laying a single hand or imprinting a single needle into my son. Do you understand me, Richards? As his hand is clenched. Victor, please, enough! You and your family have overstayed your welcome. And to beg some precautions, as when he snaps his fingers, little symbols go around their mouths as they dissipate. Victor was, let's just say it's a little precaution. I like to say what happens here in Bavaria stays in Bavaria. Now leave. As he points to their jet. Come on, everyone, let's get out of here. Victor. Susan, this is for the best. And I don't think it would be wise for little Bavaria to come over anymore. Victor. I am sorry, Susan. I am, truly. Now, please, go. As she leaves with everyone else, as the jet rises into the air and goes off. Do you believe it was wise to let them go, my lord? It was, if I were to keep them, or at least Franklin. It would have caused more troubles than I need. Especially right now. What about Lady Bavaria? We'll discuss that later. We must take Izuku to the lab immediately. As he grabs Izuku, as he takes him to basically the center point where the castle was supposed to be, as he just steps on a pressure plate. As the symbol of doom just departs 3 ways, revealing a staircase down to the labs. As then Doom takes him to the lab, as he puts a couple needles into Izuku's arm, as monitors start to, activate. As Doom sits down as he sees what's going on with Izuku's, cellular structure. As then he smiles, and then laughs. Oh, how wonderful! No, how fantastic! As Dr. Doom places his hands on the screen, bringing it closer to him, as he just marvels at the amazement as what he is seeing on the screen, as Victorious, or Zora, actually comes in, as she just says, "My lord?" "Oh, Zora, you came in just in time. My lord, you may want to see something." "Not right now." "Oh, Victorious, do you see this?" As she just sees a screen that just has diagrams and screens that just have the symbols for DNA on them. As she doesn't really understand this. What is this, my lord?" "Oh, Victorious, you know what the key difference between mutants and the quirks are?" "What is the difference, my lord?" "Simple. The age difference. That and other factors, but mostly the age. When someone with a quirk gene and their powers activate, they activate at ripe old age at 5. But with a mutant, it usually happens during the time of pubescence, if not a little later on, but during that time. Some other factors, they are involved, but mostly it's those two. But this explains everything." As Victorious is confused. Like, what are you talking about? "Well, Victorious, armed with this new knowledge, tell me, why didn't Izuku's quirk or any of his abilities activate at the age of 5? Because he's more of a mutant?" "Wrong. Very wrong.
No. They've been fighting it out.
Who's been fighting it out, my lord?
Simple. The X gene and the Quark gene have been fighting for biological dominance inside my own son.
As then Doom is producing an aura of absolute fear and terror, as Victorious is kind of quaking in her boots, as Doom just speaks.
Victorious, do you know what this means?
No, my lord. What does this mean?
At first, I thought this was one of the many scenarios I came up with. Either the mutation that would take over, or maybe even Danvers' cells that would create something new. But no. Instead, the Quark gene and the X gene are working together in harmony, absorbing the energy that was once Danvers' very cells, and allowing my son to have possibly the greatest potential of both. And all thanks to that stupid child Franklin. Oh, Richards, you have made a grave mistake. And thanks to you, my son will be stronger than ever predicted, and his strength could be eternal. Thank you, Franklin. Thank you, you blithering fool!
Franklin. As Izuku whispers out, but Doom hears him as he walks over to Izuku.
Izu, you're awake.
Father, what has happened?
Well, my boy, I have great news. Your powers, they have been awakened.
My powers? How do I? Lavaria, what happened?
She is fine, Izuku. She is alive and well. Susan protected her from your energy.
How did this happen?
I think you know quite well how this happened.
As then, Izuku opens one eye, but when he does, his right eye glows like a neon green as he just says one word. Franklin! As then his right hand starts to flicker with black lightning and starts to glow, the same neon green as he turns that right hand into a fist. But when he does, as then everything within the lab starts to bend and break and crumble, like something is physically crushing it. Computer monitors, pillars, everything, even the very ground itself is beginning to crumble, as then Doom realizes what the heck is going on, as he just looks at Izuku as he holds on to him.
Izu, calm yourself.
I am going to kill him! That self-righteous, God-complex bastard! Who does he think he is? As Izuku is basically sprouting out profanities like a sailor, and everything around him is basically crumbling before him, Doom is just weirded out that his son could curse so much. As he just looks at Victorious, as he just gives her that look of, did you teach him this? As Victoria just shook her head violently, like, no, I did not teach him this. As Doom is just confused about this, because he doesn't curse in front of Izuku, and he makes sure when the Fantastic Four and any of their friends come over, they do not curse, and he makes sure the kids don't curse. At the worst he does in front of Izuku is call the Avengers and maybe Reed Richards a dumbass. That is it. But Izuku, he's using curses from other languages for no apparent reason. As Victor's just like, how does he know this much? How? Are the villagers? And it's like, are the villagers cursing? And he's super confused, but he just whacks himself back into sense as he goes back to Izuku, as he just says, Izuku, you need to calm yourself. If you don't, the rest of this place is going to collapse on top of us. But father, what he has done
has been taken care of.
Is he dead?
No.
Then it
has been taken care of, Izu. Now calm yourself. We need to run tests on your powers and make sure what the heck these are. Understand?
As you wish, father.
Good. Now ease yourself. This is going to probably take a while.
3 years later.
So now Izuku is about 12 years old, and he's basically standing in a training room. As then a simulation appears, as 5 drones actually just walk forward as they transform into shield agents. As Izuku stands there, arms crossed, as he just says, "Activate training protocol level 3." As all the shield agents aim their guns at Izuku, as Izuku, gets ready. As a computer module just says, "Activation of training level 3." As then, Izuku starts to glow green as he starts to levitate off the ground. As, the shield agents, they start to fire upon Izuku. As some of the bullets are just hitting what it just looks like a force field that's just around Izuku's skin. As he just grabs one arm, as he just starts to create what is basically a psionic blade in one hand. As he just flies towards the nearest shield agent. As they just keep on firing, but Izuku just cuts it down. He just cuts it right down the middle as it splits apart. As the other shield agents keep on firing. Then Izuku just lifts his right hand as all the bullets that are fired start to redirect, and instead of hitting him, they just start to circle around him as he just swipes in the air as all the bullets hit the shield agents, basically destroying the drones. As more drones start to appear, but instead of appearing as regular shield agents, appear as members of Strike, namely assassins. As Izuku just cracks his neck, as he just goes, "Let's go." As he lands on the ground, as the agents just rush towards him, firing guns and, going hand to hand. As Izuku goes hand to hand with them, as he uses some of them as basically bullet shields, as some of them do take a lot of damage. But one of the agents tried to strike Izuku in the throat, but it's just stopped with pure telekinesis, as Izuku just flings them towards the other agents, as they're basically knocked over. As some of them try to get back up quickly, Izuku uses his telekinesis to grab some of the pistols as he's dual wielding them as he fires upon the agents, destroying one drone and then wounding the other greatly, while one of them grabs another gun and tries to fire at Izuku. As he just looks at the agent as the bullet just stops right near his eye. As he just blinks as the bullet just hits that agent directly in the head, destroying the drone. As he just destroys the other one pretty easily. As he just hears from the comms,
Training level 3 has been completed. New record.
As Izuku just takes in a breath. Gets easier every time. As he just walks out of the training room as the simulation just ends. As when he walks up, he sees Zora. "Lady Zora." "Ah, young lord, I see you've finished your combat training." "Yes, I have." "Lady Zora, when will I be allowed to go above level 3 in training?" Soon enough. "When will this soon be here?" "Izuku, you must understand. You are very young. As well, you're still trying to understand and grasp on your own abilities. Sure, you can do little parlor tricks and this and that, but compared to your potential and what you could become in your future, it is worth the wait." "As you say. Where is father? I would like to speak with him." "He is not here." "What do you mean he is not here?" "He is taking care of some business, Izuku." As we cut to Dr. Doom, who is in a jet, and staring down below him is a particular building, as he just wonders to himself,
I hope this works.
As the jet lands, as a crowd of people start to appear, some phasing off the ground, some landing from high above, and in front of all of them is Charles Xavier. As then the doors to the jet open, appearing in front of all of them is Doctor Doom. As he walks down the steps, everyone is preparing for some kind of fight. As Doctor Doom just raises a hand, as he just says, I am not here to fight any of you. Then what are you here for, bub? Logan, charming as always. I am here to give you an offer. An offer from you? Fat chance, bub. Is that what you all wish for? As he looks at all of them. As Charles just speaks up. Logan, please. I want to hear him out. Hear him out? This is Doom we're talking about! Any offer he gives, it has like a buttload of trouble right behind it, and I bet he's the one who caused it. I have to agree with Logan on this. He cannot be trusted, including his offer. Well, I guess that finishes it then. Oh well, I guess Magneto will be the one to train the boy. As he walks away back to his jet, inside his head, he's just counting 3, 2, 1. What boy? Hook, line, and sinker. Oh, he's nothing. Obviously, you don't care since you won't hear my offer, but maybe Magneto will. As Charles just steps in, Victor, what boy? If you are so inclined, Charles, it's about a mutant. But since you won't hear me out, well then I don't see the reason why I should tell you anything. Wiedersehen. As he's walking back to his jet, Charles just takes the bait. As he just says, wait! What my friends say is behalf of them, not behalf of me. Oh, really then? As both of them look at Charles, as they're gonna protest about this, as he just raises his hand, as he talks to them telepathically, as he just says, we need to hear him out on this. As Logan instantly perks up. Really? This is Doom we're talking about. And he's obviously gonna lie. I mean, really? A mutant? We probably would have heard him by now. You would probably have found him with Cerebro by now. You may be right, Logan, but if he does have a mutant, then we need to hear him out. As they just nod. As Dr. Dooms just says, oh well, since I am here, if we're going to have this little chat, I prefer it to be a little more private. And so they go into Charles' office. Both Dr. Doom, Charles Xavier, Logan, Cyclops, Jean Grey, and Emma Frost are in the same room. As Doom just takes a seat as he just snaps his fingers. As then runes, symbols, and seals are just appearing around the room as they dissipate. As Logan is like, what did you just do? To make sure our conversation is as private as possible. As they just hear, ow! Like that. As outside, Kitty just tried to phase through to basically hear into the conversation, but she just got zapped. Now then, all the distractions have been taken care of. Let's have this little conversation. Shall we, Charles? I do believe so, Victor. So what do you mean you have a mutant? Well, I don't exactly have a mutant. I have a mutant. What did you do? Kidnap him? I wouldn't really say kidnap Logan since he is one of mine. As all of them just look at Doom. What do you mean he's one of yours? He's Laverian, of course. As all of them are shocked. Wait, Laverian? As like Jean Grey just perks up. What's wrong, Miss Grey? Did you not know Laverian could have mutants as well? Well, you can see our skepticism since we hardly, if not ever, hear about Laverian mutants. Well, of course, since he's the first. Well, if that is the case, Dr. Doom, you can see why we're so cautious. Since, if that is the case, why would you allow one of your own people to leave? Since you are very protective of your people. Yes, I am very protective of my people. Yes, that is true. but I lack the knowledge in teaching the boy, especially teaching him how to control his power. How powerful can he be? Like, how old is he? He is 12. 12? That's kind of early. Yes, it is. Even so, how powerful can a 12-year-old be? I would assume, if the levels are not correct, he's at least a beta level. A strong beta level. If not, a low-level alpha would be precise in his power. Everyone is slack-jawed. Like, a 12-year-old that could be a strong beta level to a low-level alpha is considered to be very powerful, and as a 12-year-old. As in, Logan breaks the silence. What kind of power would make a 12-year-old an alpha level? He is a psychokinetic. Oh, for f***'s sake. We got us another one. As Jean Grey perks up, what do you mean by that, Logan? You know exactly what I mean. Every single time we get someone who has psychokinesis, things get destroyed and trouble comes. Every single time. And this kid is supposed to be, what, beta level at the weakest? And low level alpha at the strongest? And he's 12! You weren't even that strong back in that age. Heck, I don't even think you had your mutation at that time. And even when you did, you were not nearly as strong as that. You were beta at the strongest and, well, delta at the weakest. But this kid... Ugh. Charles, back me up here. Logan, I do see your point. But what Victor says is half as true, assuming if he's like a mid-level beta with psionics, he will still need our help. Is there anything else we should know, Victor? His powers are connected to his emotions. Oh, that is just perfect! A psychokinetic whose powers is based upon his emotions, and he has an age of 12 and is a beta level. That is just fantastic! Logan! Victor, would you please excuse us for a minute? Take all the time that you need. I am in no rush. As he leaves the office, but he has a giant smile underneath his helmet, thinking that it is going to work. His plan is going to work. Plus, he is putting some smoke on Logan's fire. As we cut to inside of the office, as everybody is looking at Logan. What did I say? Logan, you are being quite inappropriate at this very manner. Yeah, I gotta agree. What was all of that? You guys don't see the problem that I am seeing? As they all look at each other. Logan, what are you? This is Doom! Dr. Doom! A man who manipulates puppets for puppets for puppets on a daily basis, who has more plans than Tony Stark, and can put schemes that could put Magnetos to shame. For God heaven's sake, does no one see this problem? Let's say he is right. There is a mutant in Latveria who is Laverian born, who has apparently is either a beta level at the weakest or alpha level at the strongest. Low level, but that's still quite damn powerful. And he has that in the palm of his hand, and he's willingly to give it to us. And we don't even know what the conditions are. Do you all not see the danger in this? As everyone in the room looks at each other as they see Logan's point. Look, remember when Jean went full Phoenix? And basically Doom was right there, and it's the main reason why you're this now? As she rubs her neck. Yeah, I remember that. And he did that the very second you were in Laverian soil. The very second. And just take away the mutant part of all this. Let's just take that out. He's willing to let us teach one of his people. One. So we need to be very cautious. So what do you impose, Logan? I say we be very careful, including in our words.
Speak for yourself. Scott, this is a very serious matter. Let's say he is being truthful. Heck, Emma, did you sense anything from him? I didn't sense any lie. Okay, let's say he's resisted your little mind read before. So let's say he is correct. Say what he said was true, or even half true. Let's say he's a beta level overall. Let's say that. Or was being absolutely truthful. We cannot let this be in the hands of Magneto. We cannot. So we need to be very careful. Does everyone understand? As they all nod. Alright. Come in. As Dr. Doom comes back in.
Hopefully this time you found your leash for your rabid dog. As Wolverine just clenches his fists like, oh, buddy, you are asking for the claws. Then Charles puts his hand up as Wolverine backs off a little bit. So, Victor, let's discuss the enrollment of this mutant. Well, let's begin, shall we, Charles? Now we skip like a day later, where Dr. Doom comes back on his little jet as he actually starts walking down from the steps, as Izuku is there to greet him. Father, I see you've returned quite well. I have, my boy. We have something to discuss, you and me. Do we, Father? Of course. Now come with me. There's much to discuss. As they go into basically the family dining room, which is just one long as heck table, as Doom sits on one end and Izuku sits on the other. As then Doom starts a conversation. Izuku. Yes, Father? How goes your training? Quite well. I'm awaiting to be given permission to go up to level 4. Well, you may not be in this castle for much longer to do so. Why, Father? Simple. You'll be going to school. School? What do you mean by that, Father? When it comes to academics, I am considered to be one of the most successful children on the planet. Mathematics, language, geology, history. It is not about academics, son. Then what is it about? Simple. Your mutation. Your powers. My powers? I've kept them under control. As well, my control and power of my abilities have strengthened tenfold. That may be true, Izuku, but there is one great flaw. And that is, Father? Simple. Those of your same caliber, your powers, are becoming stronger than you are by a substantial rate. That will not do as a son of Doom. Then, Father, what do I have to do to gain this strength? Simple. You'll be going to Xavier's school for gifted youngsters. Xavier? The X-Men, am I not correct? Yes. Are you sure, Father? If the world were to discover that I am your son, I would have a massive target on my back, including yours. Some would seek my power and my connection towards you, Father, and decide to manipulate for their own gain. That is true, Izuku. That is why you won't be going under the name of Doom. What do you mean, Father? Of course, I've already prepared you an identity. What do you mean I won't be going under the name of Doom? Exactly what you think it is. You'll be going under a new identity. What will this identity be? You will be going under the identity as Deku Talos. Talos? Father, when will I be going to this school? Soon, my son. Soon. As we cut to a couple days later, as Dr. Doom's jet is flying by, as the crowd of students and teachers are just surrounding the place. And the days before the jet even arrived, people have been hearing rumors that they're going to give themselves a new student that comes from Lavaria and who is a young teenager. So people are kind of excited and kind of curious about this. So when the jet lands, Zora comes out as she looks back, as she just says, "It's time." As Izuku walks out and sees basically the crowd of mutants that are in front of him that he will soon call his classmates. And that's where I'm ending it off there, boys. So guys, please subscribe to this channel, like this video, comment down below, and please share this video with your friends or whatever. And please hit that notification bell to get more of my what ifs. And guys, I am so sorry this what if took so long to make. So guys, have a nice day, nice life. See you in the next part.